Well, we knew this time would come. Movies about COVID. Hey, my name is Alex. I'm a film composer, and today we're talking about Eddington, directed by Aster, with a score by Bobby Krilic and Daniel Pemberton. Eddington takes place in small New Mexico town at the height of COVID. It basically covers every political angle from that oh-so-recent era of American history, including but not limited to pervasive racism, performative allyship, fractured family units, the whole deal. I'm not going to go too deep into the plot lines of the story because, to be honest, it's kind of hard not to spoil Eddington. The main thing to know is that there becomes a large political divide between the current sheriff of Eddington, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and the current mayor of Eddington, played by Pedro Pascal. To be honest with you, even though it's about COVID, I actually think that this is one of Ari Aster's most approachable films. Although it is about a really divisive topic, it's not a horror film and it's not Beau is Afraid. Full disclosure, I'm kind of an Ari Aster stan. I've loved every film that he's done, including Beau is Afraid, so you kind of have to take my opinion with a grain of salt. Let's move on to the score though, because the score is kind of interesting. So for the last couple movies, Beau is Afraid and Midsommar, Ari Aster teamed up with Bobby Krilic to do the scores for those. However, on this one, the score is co-composed with Bobby Krilic and Daniel Pemberton. Daniel Pemberton has recently been featured on The Materialist, and of course he's most well known in the last few years for the Spider-Verse films. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure why the composition task is split in between two people in this film. However, I do feel like it kind of works out to our benefit. The genre of Eddington is kind of all over the place. It's a bit of a neo-western, it's a bit of a dark comedy, and it toes a lot of different tones throughout the film. And Bobby Krilic and Daniel Pemberton excel at very different things. And so I think it actually worked out really well for us that they teamed up for this score, because the way they approached the cues that they worked on really worked to their strengths. Krilic's portions are really modern sounding. They have a lot of prepared piano. They have a lot of percussion instruments. They have a lot of like produced sound. And I think it takes on a more modern flair. This film, although it is in this almost frozen in time New Mexico town, it does feel almost oppressively current. And so I think Bobby Krilic's cues translate that pretty well. Pemberton's approach is, of course, much more traditionally orchestral. There's a lot of really nice warm brass textures, and it's just always emotive but still plaintive. I think the score is always interesting. I would say it's less interesting than some of Ari Aster's other film scores. I just think it has an air of sophistication that I really enjoyed. And I don't think it's going to be winning any awards, but I think for any fan of film music, this is something you should check out. I would give the film Eddington a 4 out of 5. I think it's really one of the best movies of the year. I would give the score of Eddington a 3.5 out of 5. I think it is very well executed. I don't always think that it is the most unique or grabbing, but it probably would be a little bit out of place for it to be that way in this film. If you want to hear more of my film hot takes, you can check me out on Letterboxd.